Welcome one, welcome all to episode 286 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, August 16th, 2025. I'm your host, Luke Lohr, the Insipid Ghost, joined by my co-host, the Intrepid Captain Logun. Today we'll be discussing the Halo team-ups with Helldivers 2 as well as Fortnite. Xbox has previewed their Gamescom showcase with some teases from the new ROG Ally, and we're about to kick off a fantastic season of releases. As always, we hope you enjoy the show. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness, those who made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I am so tired. Moving, holy cow. I'm doing good. Work is busy, life is busy, and in between then I'm like staying up too late to try and get that, that feeling of like, I got my time? Have I managed to like sneak in just enough gaming to satisfy like the fact that I got to do what I wanted to do as an adult?
Sure.
I was talking to Daddy Diwali last night about how
he probably yelled at you.
The boys were like getting into their nerd fest. And I was like, well, what's nerd fest? And he's like, where you stay up late and you play games on the weekend and you wear pajama pants and eat bad food and whatnot. And I'm like, that's like my every night. What are you talking about? Nerd fest and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, you don't have kids and whatnot, do you? And I was like, no, I don't worry about that. I have a cat that wakes me up. Sure. And it was those moments where it's like moving has become so impeding. Like it's I'm down to the last 2 weeks before I move that I spend most of my time packing or handling things that like at this point I'm just like, I can't wait for it to be done so I can go back to being lazy. And just playing video games all the time as opposed to like at 2 and 3 in the morning. So how's your week been?
It was a very stressful and busy week. It was the first week back with full staff, a lot of professional development time spent in that realm. And I spent a lot of time helping new teachers and tried to support people and teach things. And I'm real tired. I've been very stressed about paying for grad school and stuff like that, but had a nice little windfall on that one. I got registered. I'm good to go. Like I'm all locked in for the beginning. I'm excited for that. But that stress is manifesting physically. Like I got a cold sore. My body is tired. Like I'm drained, and I need to get back on my exercise schedule. So like I feel like I hit that first week real hard of knocking out some big things, and now. To alleviate anxiety, I need to knock out the little tasks and get back on track, do my normal stuff. But I had a really good week. It was productive, but heavy stress for sure. Hey, quick shout out to the Nerd Chat, Gentlestone, Freight Conductor, Clutch Quando, and of course Nisa Hauer hanging out with us today. Nice. I was listening to Nerd Chat just a few minutes ago, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been a good week. And I had a nice little win also, Logan. I can just share that I'm playing Gears of War Reloaded.
I was wondering if we were going to get access to that because it seemed like it would be very quiet for us.
The interesting part about Gears Reloaded, and I'm not speaking to my experience playing the game, but how much can you share, not share is a very strange thing. This game's been re-released multiple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that might be why, because I feel like the big win for Gears Reloaded is that it's going to reach a new audience, not necessarily that it is a new Gears thing, right? Like the Helldivers, to me, is a bigger deal for us, whereas Gears a bigger deal to our partners in Blue.
Yeah.
But for me, of course, and I like to show it off, like Gears matters to me a great deal. So that's really neat. And that's all I can say on that one. And that I'm playing it.
Nice. Yeah. I looking at Gears Reloaded, I was like, I'm gonna skip this one just because I've played through Gears. It'll look pretty when I get a chance to play through it, but realistically, I think I'm way more excited for E-Day than anything, which kind of makes sense. Fresh entry into the series.
Yeah, you recently went through them.
Yeah, that makes a difference too. Yeah, going through and playing through all of them sans Judgment. Actually, I'll say within the last like 5 years, played through all of the Gears games at least once, if not twice, in some cases. And yeah, still to this day, I absolutely love Gears. It's just my memory just doesn't let me remember some things, so I'm like, I don't remember bullet points in the story in some cases. I have to get reminded, and it makes me feel like did you actually play it? It's like, no, I did. But yeah, God, love Gears.
Agreed. A big shout out to our buddy Split End, member for 15 months. Thank you so much. Sincerely, we really appreciate that. Says, I slept 9 hours and I'm still tired. Hey man, been there. And I believe that Split End had some travel recently, and so he's probably a bit worn from that. Our buddy Herman's in the house. He said Gears is mid. Your height is mid. That's what I have to say to that, Herman. I know Herman, just for the record. I'm excited for a lot of reasons, because there have been, you and I were talking just prior to going live. Actually, let me hold the live service comment. My words of kindness this week are, as we know, Gears of War, very special to my heart. Put out a very emotional video several months back, and I've shared my story about Gears. If anyone's gone through something similar and came out on the other side, my words of kindness are to you. Keep at it. You guys rock. Times are tough. Life's difficult. You're still doing it. So congratulations to you. I wish the best for you all. Those are my words of kindness.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My words of kindness go out to Kev, the Muffin Mon.
Oh, nice.
Because him and Sam are getting back into it with the second episode of their new show. It's nice to see them still kind of making content, especially with Jam Pack Sam stepping away from podcasting to focus more on YouTube content and reviews and stuff like that. I love those creators. I think that they've done a great job with the type of content that they want to produce, because it speaks to the kind of content that I enjoy. And it's just nice to see that Safe Games Media is still rocking, still putting out a show, and it's nice that they're able to kind of like keep on with that thing. Sometimes, especially with shows, things have to change, things have to shift, and the important thing is if you're still passionate about it, that you make it work, that you find a way to kind of work around it. And in some cases it doesn't. In some cases you just have to say, okay, well, we're going to put this show to rest, and then if something comes up where we can jump back into it, maybe we pick it up down the road.
Of course.
But it's been good to watch them like the last couple of weeks.
I will guiltily admit I've not caught many of our friends' content because of my schedule.
Yeah.
And I think we often reference this on our various shows. The communities are so supportive of one another, but it's very difficult to watch and see everything while also playing the things you want to play and accommodating for families and pets and jobs and multiple jobs and whatever it might be. So congratulations to them. I did not know that. That makes me very happy to hear, because I really enjoyed Project X Talk, and those two together have great chemistry. I enjoy them. So that's awesome.
Yeah. If you get a chance, Shared Save is the new show. It's still over on Safe Games Media. Second episode's out. They were talking Gamescom, Sony stuff as well too. So it was good to get a chance to drop in. I think I was pretty busy the other day, and I was trying to jump in to actually listen to a little bit of it, just to kind of like see what was going on, and then eventually had to go back and listen to the whole thing and stuff. So
good.
It's tough when you're busy. You want to support your friends, but you just don't always get the opportunity. So sometimes all you can really do is drop in chat and be like, hi.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are doing good.
Yeah. I enjoy doing that too. The nerd chat when they're live, because I can't watch their live content because of the time of day, but I often like to leave a comment or drop in, say hello, and then I catch it later on.
Yeah.
And I enjoy just messing with Dan, which is just
do you usually, like, when you wake up for your midnight nightcap, is that usually like around the time that they go live?
I don't drink. What do you mean?
Well, I just figure because it's like you go to bed at like 4 p.m. Wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, get like another drink, and then by the time they're live, they're usually getting started with their show. So you just pop in real quick before you go to bed.
I do find that I am struggling to stay a full night's sleep because of my puppy.
Oh yeah,
my wife has allowed the dog to now sleep in our bed. So
no,
and that's fine.
Well, you're done for now.
I'm not a I'm not like the Velcro, like touch me at all times type. I'm like, please stop.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just loving me up, and I'm just like, get off me, but I love you. So. All right, man. Let's chat some games here. We're gonna be trying to keep our shows down to the 60-70 minute window. So please know that, listeners, we're trying to reduce a bit from the 2 hour mark, which we can enjoy during summer and when our schedules allow, but we're gonna draw it back just a bit. I don't know if you noticed our super cool thumbnail where I even did some photo color editing. I don't know if you caught that. It was pretty cool. I was proud of that one. Helldivers 2, of course, launching onto Xbox in the Prisoner Exchange on August 26th between Gears of War and Helldivers. One of the coolest things happened in that their latest teaser/trailer for Xbox ended with a very specific audio note and visual design reminiscent and very conscious of Halo ODST. That is to say, Helldivers, a PlayStation published property, is bringing Halo content to Xbox and likely the game overall. I think this is really cool. I love seeing this. You know, I love when IPs cross over. It makes me very happy for a number of reasons. You've got some notes in here. And I'll follow up with some thoughts. When you saw this, my friend, did you catch it at first, or was it a news item?
No, I knew right away as soon as I saw the trailer. I watched at the end and I heard that jazzy music and just the one single pod drop. I was like, oh, they're emulating New Boss or no, what is it? What's it called?
New Mombasa?
New Mombasa, yeah.
New Mombasa.
New Mombasa. See, that's I can't remember what the name of it is. New Mombasa. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the one I quit. Okay, so that'll be interesting. So it was nice that they did a little bit of a thing at the end there, and I was like, oh, it's interesting to kind of see what they'll do. I wonder if they're actually going to bring like ODST armor, given the nature of Helldivers, because ODSTs and Helldivers have a lot of shared kind of like, I don't know, in creative like intent.
Drop pods. They drop down. They're orbital drop pods, and they wreck shop. That's the basic premise.
So it seems really nice. It seems like in another universe, Helldivers 2 could have been a Halo game and probably done fairly well. So, but I like the fact that they are going to be doing something like that. I'm curious if they'll continue it down the line. Like I'm imagining that they'll probably take the Warthog and probably bring it in as well as a skin or something like that. But yeah, it was neat. I really enjoyed it. It made me not want to go back to ODST because I remembered how bored I was. So kind of curious what Helldivers is going to bring to see if it'll get me back after dumping 90 some hours into it when it came out.
Two thoughts come to mind there. First, I hope that at some point in your future you can go back to ODST and enjoy it, because it truly is special, but it's so vehemently different that it can be jarring at first. But it is a very good game. And I hope you kind of, like sometimes we hit a point where you're like, you know what, I want to play this, and then you just do, and you really enjoy it. I hope that happens for you, because I really do enjoy ODST. As far as like it could have been a Halo game, fully agree with you, actually. And in playing the Halo content that is in Fortnite, which they just re-released some stuff into the new battle pass in the early stages, so you get Spartans in the first 2 pages of XP, which is very quick.
Oh, interesting.
And then they put Master Chief back in there. It really feels, between Helldivers and Halo, it's really, to me, proof of concept that Halo works in third person. And if anyone did not know, they did add a third person mode into Infinite, and I played that recently, and it was very good. And I can see a world where Halo in third person is its own thing, and I would really love to see that explored more. Scuttlebutt is that we'll have an announcement for a new Halo game in October. Halo World Championships, I think it's October. One wonders if they don't have a toggle for third person mode similar to Starfield and Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed and Grounded. Like, is that an Xbox thing, or is that just unique to the RPGs that I just listed? But I really am excited for what Helldivers 2 might do as far as Halo content. And there's also the neat thing, Logan, I'm not sure you've tracked this, but it's very likely, and I'm not sure if it's official, I don't know if it's official, but I think it is, that Killzone content is coming to Helldivers. And much like Fortnite showing Master Chief and Kratos together, you might get Killzone and Halo together, which might be kind of cool.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that. Not familiar with Killzone at all, just because I never got into PlayStation after the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. So I never fell into that Killzone category. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things, like, you know, if done right, I think any game could bring in references to other games and stuff like that and actually have a really good time with it. It's just a matter of, like, you know, is the IP something that is done respectfully? You know, I think Fortnite does a good job of towing that line to a degree. Like, you know, we recently just saw that the Power Rangers brought into Fortnite. They've done a really good job of, like, showcasing, like, okay, well, you know, everyone gets their own kind of emote for this and stuff, just like the Turtles had their own emotes. King of the Hill had their own emotes. But then, you know, I was scrolling through Twitter last night and saw Godzilla doing the put a ring on it emote with Nike Airs on, and I'm like, this is like some fever dream stuff. So it's wild to me that they do that. But so looking at that, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I would love to see what Helldivers does with some Halo, and see if they can bring in some of that, because they've already captured my heart with their kind of allusion to, like, Terminators and Starship Troopers. Obviously, like, they have plenty that they can do, and they're doing a good job with it. I think it comes down to how well this is received over on the normal side of, like, Xbox fans, like normal fans that come in and find out about Halo being in Helldivers. Will they give it a shot? Because I think that's something a lot of Halo fans wanted. A lot of Xbox gamers wanted Helldivers 2 to come sooner. It seems like it was taken maybe a little too long, given that it's kind of fallen out of the zeitgeist. And now that we're getting into this release, like, is that fervor going to kick back up? Is that zeitgeist going to start carrying Helldivers 2 even more, because now it's over on Xbox and stuff? And sometimes it's hard to know, like, what the general populace is going to think when they get their hands on it.
You make a very good point in referencing, like, you know, how will the masses receive it? Will this reignite interest on the Xbox side for coverage, but on the PlayStation side, just for interest in general? Halo arriving is a great welcome mat for Xbox fans, but what might re-engage not a lapsed PlayStation base, because the game is still doing very well, but what might re-engage them? Does Halo engage them? Yeah. Or does something like an IP crossover with maybe alien xenomorphs, and they're what you're mowing down? The question then becomes, Logan, how much can you add to attract fans while keeping the spirit of what makes Helldivers unique? Because in Fortnite, it's a very comfortable IP crossover. You really get that Ready Player One vibe of, it's okay that the Power Rangers and Batman and the Ninja Turtles and Terminator and Lara Croft are all hanging out.
Yeah.
What's the line where it's too much? Because I think Call of Duty fans have pushed back now on some of the IP crossover. Battlefield is a good indicator. We'll talk about that in a moment, of wanting a purist vision of what the Battlefield should look like. Where does Helldivers draw a line? Alien Earth just came out. That might be a nice fit of interest. What do you do without breaking your game's immersion level? And that's what I'm curious to see, how they navigate that space, and just how much bandwidth does Arrowhead have? They are not a huge studio like Epic to bring in all these IP comfortably. I'm watching. I know it's a niche interest for this audience, but like big Dead by Daylight fan, they pushed so much to get so much crossover content, and they have so many IPs involved that their game started breaking, and so they just had to address their fans and say, hey, we're going to halt all new content until we finish quality of life fixes. Sea of Thieves did something very similar in the last 2 years. I can't remember the idea, but they focused on quality of life, right? Yeah. So, you know, where does Helldivers go to bring in new people, but also make sure they keep the spirit of the game? Regardless, I'm very excited for Helldivers. I very much want to play it. I can see myself spending the money to buy it, and money's tight right now, and I'm going to still do so. So, you know, it's just something to watch.
Yeah. It's nice. The games again, they're only putting the game out at the $40 price tag in the states that they did when they first came out, which I appreciate. I think with as far as like their crossover content, light touches like the Halo thing, the ODST is a perfect example of them kind of giving the illusion of like what they can do with IP crossovers. I don't want them to lose too much of what the DNA of their game is for the sake of IP. I think that's when you get into that realm of Call of Duty where it's like it's one thing to have like unique cosplays or unique costumes in Call of Duty. But when you start bringing in stuff like Seth Rogen or Nicki Minaj, it's like that feels more like a cash grab than kind of a reverence towards the game as well as like the people involved around it as like an IP and stuff like that. Like it just doesn't.
It's a step too
really
far.
Translate. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a muddy line. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I would say, like looking at Overwatch 2, I think Overwatch 2 does a good job of bringing in IP. Their characters are still represented in those. Like you're not playing like a different character, but it does look similar enough to like an interesting IP that you can at least have that sense of like, oh, I really love that IP. It's cool that I can actually see that in Overwatch for these characters and not lose like who's who just because the character looks too different from or too dissimilar from what their original character looked like to not tell who it is, when in those games it very much matters. Like, okay, having a visual reference of who's who matters because you have to understand like their abilities and stuff like that. Less important on a shooter because you don't have to worry about like cooldowns and stuff like that. But
sure,
when done well, I think IP crossovers can be fun. I think it's just one of those situations where everyone has their line, and for some people that line's going to be further before they get cross over into too far than others. Like some people in Call of Duty probably don't want any. They want like a toggle to be able to have like all normal skins and not anything weird pop up. Whereas other people would be like, no, just throw it all in. It's weird. I get it. It's a video game. It doesn't really matter. So I think it just depends on what the general group of people care about. And I think a lot of that translates into who's buying the microtransactions. Are they selling? If they are, then keep putting them out because you sell what people are buying. You don't sell what people aren't buying.
I think that is why you see PlayStation willing to do this, to put Halo into their game while they put their game onto Xbox. I use the word their game a bit nebulously because they're second party in this work with Arrowhead, but that's why Xbox is selling gangbusters over on PlayStation side. That's why they're willing to do these things. Who's interested? My hope is that Gears of War does very well for that audience, specifically because it's time for Halo to reach new people. And what does that mean for Switch 2? I wonder the same. We recently got info that Switch 2 will not have Call of Duty Black Ops 7 at launch. And to me, that is unsurprising. However, it raises eyebrows given all the legal proceedings from several years back where they said they would have parity with Nintendo, with PlayStation, with Xbox so that none would get an advantage. But to me, this is more of a bandwidth of production time issue, not necessarily we're keeping it from this audience, because Xbox has shown they're willing to publish anywhere if there's interest in time.
It is kind of interesting that because I'm trying to think of, have we seen any PlayStation IP crossovers with any of the Xbox games that have come over? Because at the moment, a lot of the stuff that's getting pushed over there is stuff that is much older. Like I think Forza Horizon 5 is kind of like the newest game that's come over, and even
that had some liveries crossover. Like that had like a car that was green and blue, and it talked about like play together or something in that nature.
No, I'm talking hard IP crossover, like going into Horizon, and you've got a like a Horizon Zero Dawn kind of crossover. Like they play into the Horizon aspect of Forza and Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West kind of like crossover. Like ODST is a clear like
I see your point.
crossover as opposed to, hey, we're all friends in the game realm. Let's get you some PlayStation icons and stuff in our game and stuff.
You would know better than I if this is the case, because to my knowledge, no. The only other place I could see it happening that I may not know is like, is there anything in Sea of Thieves that is PlayStation specific? Okay.
Well, there is stuff that's PlayStation specific, but it is not IP based the way like the Royal Squirrel set is an allusion to the Conker's Bad Fur Day, or Gears of War has their own set in Sea of Thieves as far as like a livery set. Halo has two ship sets in their game. It's like, we didn't get anything like that for PlayStation, and it's surprising that PlayStation is the one that actually has one of their studios doing an Xbox crossover more diligently than Xbox has with any Sony kind of IP. And I wonder if maybe that's because Sony's a little more precious about their IP than Xbox is.
I think you're right, with the comfortable asterisks that they themselves seem to be shifting. We talked last week about them shifting their entire focus away from being hardware centric to more brand and IP centric. So I think we've got enough evidence to say they're now on board with the shifting mentality in market. It's just a matter of timing and bandwidth of the development teams. We know, well, I can say comfortably, like, I know that some of the games that have come out that are currently Xbox PC exclusive, Sight Avowed as a recent example, South of Midnight as a recent example, that was a matter of team size. It wasn't that they were neglecting PlayStation or Nintendo. They just they had a bandwidth amount of time. So, I think that it's a matter of which PlayStation studios have time to do X, Y, or Z. A lot of people are citing Days Gone as going to be the next game to come to Xbox. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a more recognizable one. But that remains to be seen. And honestly, it doesn't matter, because Xbox's new direction is more Windows-based. They're just going to pull from Steam, Epic, and whatever else need to be done. So let's see. I have to give a quick shout out to my buddy Hometown Hero. It says, I want you both to know I'm choosing this while I run today. So you're welcome. Glad to see you running and exercising. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. And my buddy Kevo has been loving the Battlefield beta. Can we just briefly mention and discuss the Battlefield beta?
Yeah, we can jump into that. Have
you played much of it, Logan?
Not this beta, but I did play a good amount on the first one. I had a really good time with the beta. I think the beta is in really good shape. I think that they've done a good job kind of like leaning into what I think Battlefield is. I had a good time running around support and grabbing people and dragging them around and sticking them with stims. I was playing with some of the Nerd Chat guys last beta, where it just felt like we were just constantly on the back foot. Dan would always run forward and then get killed, and then me and Chipotle had to shore up the side. But we had a really hard time with capturing different points and stuff. And honestly, it's one of those things where, unlike Call of Duty, I did not feel like I had much sway in the actual game. Whereas with Call of Duty, I know that if I have a good play, or if I cover a corner really well, I can feel the impact of them not getting a point, or pulling out some of the things. So I think Battlefield's going to do really, really well. I know, like, a while back we were talking about what was going to sell more in the month of October. It's clear that, like, Battlefield's probably in a good spot. It's not anywhere close to the shape that it was when we were looking at 2042 and thinking like, oh, this will be cool. And then they changed so much of it. I think they've done a really, really good job with kind of going back to the essence of what Battlefield is about. And a lot of people are enjoying that right now. So I'm curious what the lifespan of it is going to be after launch, if it's something that people are going to still really jump into. Because we just recently got news about Call of Duty 7 or Black Ops 7 going to be announced at Gamescom. Still very, mum as far as like what that's going to look like. But that's still very much competition in the market, whether people are sick of Call of Duty, whether they're sick of Black Ops, like that doesn't change how popular it is. It just means that people are tired of talking about it and probably not playing as much of it. But there's still very much a big audience for that. So I think Battlefield's probably got the best chance to sell really well as they ever have. And I think that, a lot of people kind of like jumping into the beta will only benefit the game when it actually comes out at launch.
Yeah. You brought up a lot of thoughts in my mind. No, it's good. I'm gonna loop back and recover and kind of go point for point here. First of all, I do want to say Herman in the chat saying Kevin is really bad in the Battlefield beta, even though he thinks he is the best. Boy, is that ever true. You mentioned playing with Dan. I've played with Dan before. Dan does like to run forward, and then he yells at you, and you got to go back. You got to recover him. It's a whole thing. But good on you for being a good sport.
Yeah.
What I think is most interesting is that despite being military shooters and having prominent development teams, it's very clear that this particular Battlefield has tried to stick to what makes Battlefield, and that is almost never in Battlefield are you the main character. Are you the hero that saves the game? Whereas in Call of Duty, you can be that highlight reel every time, all the time. But Battlefield presents Battlefield moments. You're a cog in the machine, and you can affect the outcome, but you're not going to have that singular recognition that you might get in a Call of Duty. What I think is really neat with this particular iteration is that they've managed to tap into the spirit of what made Battlefield unique, and yet still be approachable with some of the classes, customizations, and such. The maps seem to me to be very good thus far. Some of them built for certain modes a bit better than others.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to happen with this particular type of game. I love the way you can jump between squads in Battlefield, and your squad can have a nice impact, but it's going to require that coordination. I have found, Logan, that when I am very tired, I am not an effective Battlefield player. Whereas with Call of Duty, I can just run and gun. It doesn't matter. I can get wrecked or not. But if I'm focused and I'm coordinating and calming well with my team, Battlefield's a really special experience. The big question now is, do people trust EA? Will they pre-order? Because back in Battlefield 2042, will they pre-order? Will they not? The difference being this beta is so well received for an open beta, hit numbers, performing well, running well. I got to tell you, I think this Battlefield is poised to be very special. And with Black Ops 6 not having the post-launch support, I was in a conversation with a friend of ours who will remain nameless for the moment. Black Ops 6 not getting the post-launch support that it should have.
Yeah.
The Black Ops community is a bit trepidatious on 7. Are we getting more of the same? Because the same is not necessarily going to do the numbers that Microsoft might like it to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot to watch. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this competition. I know for me, I'm probably going to be not sitting out Black Ops 7, but I'm far less interested than I am in something like Helldivers and playing the live service content that I'm enjoying in Fortnite and Rivals and Battlefield versus more Black Ops.
Did you get a chance to play through the Black Ops 6 campaign?
No. Let me rephrase the wording here. Yes, I had a chance. I opted not to. My interests were just elsewhere for our coverage and timing, and I just wasn't interested. And I've thought about it because everybody raves about it, and I completely respect that. Like, I will never dunk on the campaign that's so well received, but I also want to note I did not play that particular campaign, whereas I plowed through Modern Warfare's 1, 2, and 3 campaigns.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Because that was I still stand by 6 being like one of the better Black Ops I've played.
I've heard that.
That campaign will still, like, there are still certain levels in there where I'm just like, this is crazy. This is amazing stuff. So I'm actually really excited for the campaign in Black Ops 7 just because of what they did with 6 and how good or how well it was received. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. I think for me, it comes back to, I don't do Warzone because I don't usually I don't really like the premise of battle royales. I like to loot in battle royales, but I don't like to play in battle royales. I'd rather play in multiplayer. And the zombie mode, I'm not a fan of the wave-based zombies. I like the DMZ version of zombies a lot better in Modern Warfares. So I'm kind of hoping that there's a something in this upcoming announcement for Black Ops 7 that will interest me more than just the campaign. But to get back to your question, whether or not people should be pre-ordering Battlefield, it always comes back to if there's a physical edition that has time limited or exclusive stuff in it that you want to have because it is a physical thing, I think that is understandable. But I don't think there's any reason in the last 10 years that anyone should need to pre-order anything. Like having early access does not benefit you, because day one servers for a multiplayer game are usually on fire anyway, and you don't ever get the benefit of that time. You should never buy anything just because of exclusive content, unless you would be willing to spend that money in the store regardless. But to buy the game because you're excited for it, to pre-order it because you're excited about it, does not give warrant to what I think a lot of people want media to do, which is to review games, to give you that consumer information, to let you know, like, hey, this showed really well. It played really well in betas, but man, they flubbed the launch. And the way pre-orders are in most cases, a lot of companies don't want you to be able to cancel your pre-order. They want to have that locked in cash. So some companies, it's really tough to actually pre-order or cancel a pre-order for. So with things being digital, content delivery being accessible, like you can preload games on Game Pass without having to like do any kind of purchasing for it. Like it's just part of that. I think it's very easy for folks to be able to just wait, see what the reviews say, wait for the embargo. Once embargo happens, if the reviewers say, hey, this is worth buying, then you could pre-order after that. But you can pre-order up to like the minute it launches and still have just as much access to it as people who pre-ordered it months out. So I hate the idea that people are wanting to pre-order something like this to just like have access or to support the devs. It's like you can do the same thing without pre-ordering in case something goes wrong and it's just not as cool as we thought it was going to be.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't care if anyone pre-orders it. I don't think it matters anymore. Not in this realm in this audience type. If you're having a live service type game, the onus is on you to be supportive and go through it. I don't mind one way or another. I'm not like staunchly in the boycott realm, because it's proven that digital calls for boycotts do not work. People vote with their wallet. And so I just respect that aspect. I do want to loop back and reference Clutch Kwando, because I had said several minutes ago that the people I was speaking to about Black Ops 7 would also talk about Black Ops 6, and they said that Black Ops 6 didn't necessarily have the best post-launch support despite a good launch. Clutch pushed back on that, and he said it had a ton of post-launch support. So I asked him to tell me more, because
actually
people I was talking to, I believe you. Again, this is me talking to journalists, right?
Yeah.
And so he says, anecdotally speaking, I didn't see a lot of people complaining about the new maps. I've seen positive reception from the competitive scene on some of the new additions. And for support content, the game had no shortage of post-launch support, he says. And that may be true. So I'm going to ask anybody that's listening to this that has hands-on experience to please drop your thoughts and stuff into the comments, because like my impression was that it wasn't huge. And Logan, I know that you're about to give me your impressions as well. I want our audience to share also, because this is a mixed bag. What does it mean to be supported? Is it the name of the game, or did people go into other live service games? And I just don't know the answer. So please, what are your thoughts?
I think that they very much supported the game really well after launch. They launched strong. They had a good lineup of weapons. The skins were all there. They had the camos ready to go. The map pool was solid. After that, they started to release 1 to 2 maps every major update. Each season was ready to go. Each season had a plethora of content in it. They brought in new weapons. They brought in new skins. I think they did a good job with a lot of that stuff early on. They had good crossover with, different companies as far as like Monster and Little Caesars and stuff like that. But they had events and they had a lot of events. Like there was an event going on at least every 2 weeks or so, every month for sure. And they definitely put in a lot of work. In fact, there was a point where they had accidentally showed that they could bring all of your 2x experience for like weapons and levels and stuff like that. They showed that you could actually bring that over from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and 3, and they turned it off, and then people were like, no, what? And they came back and they're like, you know what? We'll bring it in. We'll let you get access to it. So they probably, so like there's been a ton of content, and to the point where it's like for a while there, I was doing every single event and completing every single event.
Cool.
And it still goes on to this day. Like I still pop in and I'm like, man, there's still tons of stuff going on. They get double XP weekends. They get events where they're bringing in new stuff. They've started to introduce some of these like, hey, if you don't want to go and just buy the skins outright and you want to subsidize your microtransaction purchase for time, then we'll put a little pass in. You pay for the pass, you get more content than it costs to get the pass, but you have to work through the pass to be able to earn that content. Something like similar with what Fortnite does when they sell like the mini passes, and you just, they're asking for time in exchange for money.
Right. And I enjoy those mini passes in Rivals and Fortnite, and I did in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and 3 as well. So great to hear that.
Yeah.
Great to hear that. I see Big B Money echoing your thoughts, Bacon echoing your thoughts. So perhaps who I was talking to was either mistaken or they're using a different metric. But anecdotally, it looks like the people that are around us really do appreciate the Black Ops 6 support. So that's great to hear also.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet deal. Before we go to our next topic, Logan, I do want to give a shout out to the wonderful and amazing Matt Valdez, who had left us on Patreon for a bit, found us once again, supported us at tier 3 over on Patreon, which is that oh goodness gracious, guys. But whether you are supporting on YouTube, Patreon, some of you even double dip to help us pay for different things and support the channel. We really appreciate you. So shout out to Matt Valdez for subscribing at tier 3 once again. And I believe we neglected to read our patrons last week, so I'm going to do that now if you don't mind. All right. Thank you to those of you who went to patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass. Our tier 2 and 3 shout outs are headed to Matt Valdez, Matto1606, The Amazing Clutch Kwando, Omen, Jesse Prius, Fado, Aaron G, Nick Bentley, The Scarecrow, Ken Rosing, Fabian Winkler, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Rob Frawley II, Tao Zochi, Nicholas Johnson, Randall Thor 19, Hafrican, Game Positive, Jam Pack Sam, Red Beast, Dano 12, DJ Hero, Brendan Myers, aka The Winter Gamer, the Lord Sir Master James Suddy, and of course Sony's VP of Marketing, Kevin Butler. Thank you guys for supporting us, helping us make content, and in general, just being awesome for us. Thank you. Appreciate it. Logan, I've crossed a good month of time with my Wolverine Pro V3 Tournament Edition. I have a lot of great thoughts on it. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's a great controller for $100. Enjoying it, working on getting that review done before school starts, hopefully. And then of course Gears impressions. So I'm trying to juggle, but school will work, and then school, and then XEP content has got to be my priority list. But I'm really excited to make that video because it's a great controller.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been wondering how that's been going, because I know we've gotten that one. There's the wireless one that's available as well too. Just really curious to kind of find out what, at the end of the day, why does it stick out compared to all the other controllers and stuff that we've either done reviews for here or experienced in the lifetime of like playing video games and stuff.
Short answer: mouse click buttons are amazing. I don't like that it's wired, but I don't mind it. But I don't like it. And for the value to dollar ratio, it's better than any other controller I've ever used. Nice. That's the short impressions. The Razer Wolverine V3 Tournament Edition. Pretty great. All right, Logan, let's talk Gamescom. Gamescom Xbox has come out and said that at Gamescom, which they will have their broadcasts on Wednesday, August 20th and Thursday, August 21st. They're going to be showing a plethora of games across these 2 days. Of course, you'll also get a lot of information on the Xbox or the ROG Xbox Ally. Got to get that order right. And ROG themselves Asus coming out rather, and saying that they've got more to show, including extraordinary Xbox news, which is very interesting that Asus would be the ones saying that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to be like, we made a controller, or if they're going to be like, we're partnering to make the next Xbox full stop, Series X2 or whatever. Whatever they're teasing, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. But we'll see news from the new Xbox, ROG Ally, Flight Sim 24, Dying Light the Beast, Keeper, World of Warcraft Midnight, Black Ops 7, Grounded 2 information, Hotel Barcelona, Invincible versus Chronos New Dawn, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate, Outbound, Power Wash Simulator 2, Star Sand Island, the new Indiana Jones DLC, Ninja Gaiden 4, At Fate's End, Onimusha, The Way of the Sword, Age of Empires 4, Overwatch 2, High on Life 2, Outer Worlds 2, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Fragpunk, Misfall Hunter, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Something Chronicles, My Hero Academia, All's Justice, Silent Hill F, Lego Voyagers, and Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater. Quite the list. The reason I listed all of them, Logan, they've got some really big names in there. They've got some very calm and relaxed, just, hey, cozy, enjoy this type things in there. I think it's a nice balance. Yeah. I think this is cool. Rock on. I'm looking forward to see what Xbox brings to the table.
Yeah, I like that they've split it up amongst the 2 days. It'll give them some interesting stuff to talk about, maybe give a little bit of light to some things that we don't know as much about, as opposed to stuff that we definitely know about. Because I know Grounded 2 doing really well. I think they've hit a reported 3 million players, which it being on Game Pass is kind of a nice thing. But hopefully more and more people get a chance to jump into that. But I don't.
You said Grounded 2 is what you're speaking of?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was typing right at that moment.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. So yeah, Grounded 2. I can imagine that they might do more like of another like, hey, this is out now, go check it out kind of thing, as opposed to, hey, this is the next update that we're going to be doing kind of thing, because they've already posted their roadmap for the time being, so they might just kind of dip into that. So I don't expect a whole lot there. On the flip side, something like Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and World of Warcraft Midnight are going to be two very big pillars on this tent that you know, like that they are going to be talking more and more about, where those are going to be big reveals for Xbox in general, just so that people get an idea like, okay, this is the new cinematics for World of Warcraft, which are going to look amazing. We're going to talk about, player housing, and we're going to give a launch date and talk about more on the upcoming BlizzCon kind of thing. Black Ops 7, here's the campaign, here's the characters, here's the setting, here's what you can expect kind of thing. Then you've got stuff like Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate. More just kind of like a, hey, we're going to showcase this because we're doing some marketing for them, because Square needs to have a sense of like their representation on Xbox as well too. Mm-hmm. So some of this stuff I'm looking forward to seeing. Some of this is just going to be little updates. So it's a nice little mix of the two. Like, I like that both days have updates to stuff that we already know, like Overwatch 2, High on Life, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Fragpunk, stuff like that. But new stuff like Ninja Gaiden 4, Onimusha, At Fate's End, stuff like that. And I'm like, cool. I like that we're getting a little bit of a mix of both, because then people are going to feel like they're serviced with new stuff and stuff that they already appreciate.
I echo quite a bit of that. I'm interested to see what they do bring to Grounded 2, just out of pure curiosity, because I did really love my 40 some odd hours with that game. And I it's the Ally that I find so interesting. Price point, I think, is going to be the first thing you look at, but why get it?
Yeah.
Right. Like, what are they going to do to incentivize you to get this one versus saving your money or purchasing a separate handheld, a different handheld, a previous Ally? I'm just curious to see how that goes. I've only heard great things. Excuse me. I apologize. I'm interested to see some of the stuff that we got to see at SGF, but we're going to see more in depth. For example, Dying Light the Beast. when I saw that and watched that be played and whatnot, it was impressive. What more are you going to show, or is it just more of it? Chronos New Dawn had a really cool trailer at SGF. Anxious to see how that interacts. Love that Final Fantasy is going to be linking up with Xbox on these stages and presentations. I think that's really cool. And then just selfishly, after our behind closed doors demo of Onimusha, yeah, give me more of that game. That's going to be cool. Yeah, that's going to be cool. So there's a lot here for a lot of different types of gamers. I did not see Winterborough for our friend Nissa, which I'm bummed for her sake. But there's a lot here. And, will we get release dates for a lot of this stuff? Are we going to get, Game Pass listings for some of this stuff? Just interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think really the Ally is going to be the showcase or the spotlight for Gamescom. Like, a lot of people are wanting to know more about it. It's going to be the second time that'll have kind of like main stage presence to kind of say like, hey, this is the thing that we're selling. And for a lot of folks that are on Xbox, may not have wanted to dip into that kind of handheld PC hardware, but because this is going to be Xbox branded and focused, it's going to feel like an Xbox controller, but built into like an actual handheld form factor. I think this is going to be where they really do have to kind of sell you on why this is something that should be worth investing in. Mm-hmm. Price point's going to be very interesting, because I think that people that bought a $500 Xbox Series X are going to look at this and think, that's not for me. Maybe when it goes on sale, and then it'll never go on sale, because this is not the America that we wanted it to be.
Man, that was good. Logan, we got a couple questions in our Discord that we can bring up. Well, you take a look there, and I looked at them also. I can bring them over if you need me to. But the only other kind of news of note, because a lot of this Gamescom stuff is just preview, I really do want to know what this ROG Ally thing is. I just want to know what they're saying is extraordinary. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. In the smaller topic realm, Shawn Layden has made news once again for his comments disliking Game Pass. I think that's a tired conversation, but a relevant one nonetheless. There's a lot of to do about whether Game Pass is good or bad for the industry. Was Spotify good or bad for the music industry? Was Netflix good or bad for the movie industry, the TV industry? There are a lot of ways to look at those arguments per se, but what I will say is that Spotify is there. So debating whether or not it's good or bad, it is the mainstay. YouTube is the mainstay in its realm. Netflix and that type of platform is the mainstay, but all of you are able to spend and purchase accordingly. You don't have to have Game Pass if you don't want to. You can buy your games if you'd like to. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Shawn Layden is also entitled to his opinion. He's also a graybeard from an old era of the industry, and that's okay too. That we need that wisdom. We need that wisdom. I look at education because I was a teacher, but we have a lot of people at the superintendent level, right? And to be at the superintendent level, you need to be in your kind of mid 40s to above in order to kind of go through the career pathing required. Well, anybody that's in those particular realms was not a teacher during COVID, was not a teacher post-COVID, and likely wasn't a teacher in the 2010s. They were at administrative levels. So their experience level and what they draw on is so dated that they don't have that firsthand work with a student experience. In the gaming realm, that to be at the level that we're talking for the Shawn Laydens, they're so far removed from people actually doing the work that maybe their impact is, or their perspective is a bit skewed. The counterpoint, of course, you need that wisdom in any profession. It's necessary. And so the people that I talk in education, we need that wisdom. They've seen a lot of problems that no classroom teacher would ever see. Shawn Layden has seen and dealt with the politicking and the financing that no developer making the actual game has had to deal with at that level. So there is a value to it. Anyone that's at Spotify, you've done a lot to get music to people's ears. That's important. Did those artists get paid? That's a very different conversation. And they both have benefits.
Yes, they do. They just don't get as much as they might have if they had record deals.
And then you can argue discoverability, YouTube algorithms, social algorithms, Spotify algorithms, Netflix algorithms. There's a lot of ways to analyze that argument. If you don't like Game Pass, please do not purchase it. If you want to buy your games, please do so. The best part about Game Pass is that there is not a single thing on it that is exclusive to that platform. There's nothing on Game Pass that you have to have Game Pass to play. You can buy it. You can play it in multiple other places. There's a lot of other ways to do it. Before I invite your comment, my friend, Clutch Kwando being amazingly gracious and gifting 5 XEP memberships. Thank you so much, my friend. Your support has kept this podcast afloat on the back end so many times, and I am grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Logan, I brought up a lot of different points, and I compared entertainment industries as well as like a education industry. Did you want to comment on any of that?
I think it's interesting that we always seem to kind of go back to hearing, like, every time I hear someone who used to be making video games back in like the
He did it
90s,
again, Logan. He gifted another 5.
Oh my God.
He gifted another 5. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Clutch Kwando.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
that.
You.
Yeah, General Stone getting a membership this time.
Yay, love that.
Nice.
Thank you. Go ahead. Back to your original point. I apologize.
Yeah, no. So it's always interesting when I see like some of these folks that have been like in the industry and were like big people in the industry, but then they've like stepped away. They've gotten out of that role, or they've gotten out of the industry in general, coming back. And it's like, you always see interviewers want to go and like find out like, oh, what does this person think of the industry nowadays? And it's like, most of those people are probably moved on and don't care. And it's like a different world to what they did back in the day. It's like asking, people that did stop motion animation, what they think of AI, building out 3D environments and stuff. It's like, I'm sure they probably think it's interesting, but like their experience is not going to hold any real kind of weight compared to what's going on now. It's like, I'm sure they, people that were making clay models to move for movies probably look at AI and think like, oh, well, it's good. That doesn't take as long as it used to. So it's just, it's one of those interesting things where we kind of look at kind of what some of the older game developers come out and say, or not even developers, just like businessmen, like Shawn Layden coming out and having his opinions. Great, but how relevant is that to the conversation? And do we take that at just like from his perspective, or do people try to take that and run with it as like, that's the narrative as far as like how people should be looking at it? And it's like, well, how relevant are they to modern day game industry?
It's a great question. In Shawn Layden's case, I believe he works over at Tencent. We've had on several legends from the industry that they're graybeards, old hats. Like we had Cliffy B's been on multiple times, which relevant to our Gears conversation, but he's out of the industry. He's got ideas. He's creative. He's very intelligent, but I don't know how relevant his ideas are. I do not know. I'm not critiquing them. He's only ever treated us like gold. And I'd kind of like to see another cool project brought back. We've had John Romero. I talk about him often. Doom and Gears very close to me, obviously. But again, the gray beard in the industry, how relevant is it? I don't know.
Yeah. See, well, that's where I think the difference is actually a really good example. I think like Cliffy B, if I was to want Cliffy B to come back and do something, I'd be like, he's been out too long. Like he needs to kind of go back and learn how games are being made again, because it's totally shifted probably from when he was doing Gears and stuff. We've had really good Gears games since Cliffy B. Whereas I look at Romero and I'm like, Romero's still making games. Like Romero is still busting his butt to try and make content out there. Like his opinion, he's still in the industry. Like he's still relevant as far as like what he's trying to make. So it's like, I would trust Romero's opinion on the state of the game industry from his perspective, from his kind of like decisions and how to do something, compared to Cliffy B, who's making comics and doing stand-up comedy. And I'm like, that to me is a great example of like, who are the luminaries that we should be going to? Are they still like, when I go think about, whose opinion should I be getting for the state of Nintendo? It's like, is Reggie still in it? Like, is Reggie Fils-Aimé still considered someone who knows kind of enough about what's going on currently that he could speak eloquently as he always does about like what the state of the industry is, or where people should be moving the industry as far as like games as a service, as far as like game services in general, kind of that kind of stuff. Cause he hasn't been, head of Nintendo for a while. So his experience is by far something that we should look back on and think like, this is what his legacy was. This is what he was able to accomplish. But if you're out of the game too long, like, it just, like, I don't expect people to have their opinion from that perspective need to be as weighted as someone who's still in it, if that makes sense.
Makes good sense. Makes good sense, bud. And articulately and well said, I might add.
Thank you.
We have I'm looking at our Discord, and one of the things that I think was interesting that came from a conversation between Kevin Ainsworth, Save Game Media, Keith over at theouterhaven.net, and they had a conversation back and forth about just essentially how much the Xbox ROG Ally is going to sell. And I don't even know what a good metric is, but Kevin Ainsworth said if it sells 100K lifetime, that's more than I expect. That to me sounds very low. 100K
for a handheld, yeah. I would hope it would be higher, but like, we're talking niche. Not only is Xbox in last place as far as hardware sales go, but we're also talking about a handheld for people who are predominantly like PC gamers that have their Steam library. And we're trying to sell a handheld to console, on the box, or like under the TV box kind of genre of players. And I keep thinking to myself, like, I don't know what their metric is for success for this, but I hope that bar is low.
Well, the comparative point that I can offer you is that Digitimes Asia, which is a reporting outlet, estimates based on numbers released from Asus themselves that ballpark 500,000 to 700,000 units of the Asus ROG Ally have sold. And they can't give you an exact number because they're looking at like revenue numbers, and the prices vary from region to region and adjust accordingly. But somewhere around 500,000 seems to be the safe estimate for the Asus ROG Ally. If I have an Xbox branded one that's supposed to be doing something better and making the streamlined elements of Epic Game Store, Steam, Xbox all cohesive through Windows, I think 500,000 is good, but should be better. I think 100,000 is embarrassingly low. 1 million is a big win. That's my thought process.
So looking at that, do you...
Gentle Stone has a comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a PC niche product that is a slight upgrade to the current Ally X. 150K would be a celebration for them.
That's way lower than what I was thinking would be good. So I'm no expert. So
the question that I have in mind is, this is an Xbox branded product. It is an Ally, but there's no reason why people that want an Ally would need to go for an Xbox Ally. And in fact, it kind of makes me concerned that with it being labeled Xbox, will people assume that it is just an Xbox based hardware program? Will people even know that you'll have access to other ecosystems on that Ally? Because it's still technically an Ally, which means it can do whatever the Ally did. But because this is Xbox branded, is that actually going to act as a detriment due to the name being so closely associated with hardware, like a console? And has the marketing for everything's an Xbox been successful or propagated as much to be able to know that, like, inform people that Xbox is no longer just a console, that it's everywhere? Like, have we gotten to the point where people understand what an Xbox truly is, that they will look at this Xbox Ally and think, okay, I can still access Steam, I can still access Epic, I can still access all these other things? Or will it be like what I'm worried about, that Xbox being the moniker on this will kind of truncate what people expect to be the available library?
It's going to come down largely, and I'm tired of this topic because it means so many different things to different people, to the marketing, how they showcase this device, where are you putting commercials? Are you putting them in theaters, in sports games? And in those commercials, do you have a Steam logo off the bat? Is Kratos in there? Can you get something that's not Xbox
I think so.
on this trailer?
That's a good idea.
Helldivers should be on this trailer if it runs, right? Like, I don't know. Like, there's some games my Steam Deck won't run. That's the question. Because to your point, Xbox means 30 million hardware sold and Halo to a lot of people.
Yeah.
PlayStation means, was it 90 million units sold or some very high number? I don't know the number off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And a whole lot more. So you do need to disassociate with that Xbox name just a bit to hit more people than the enthusiasts.
I think this is going to be real ballsy, but I would love for them to do this. If the Xbox Ally X ads showcase Steam logo, Spider-Man Kratos with Xbox like above it, and just like really, really kind of like pronounce like, hey, you want to play Kratos, you want to play Spider-Man on an Xbox hardware, this is the thing that's going to be able to do that.
The only way
through Steam.
The only way I can see them able to pull that, because first of all, I love that vision. Or like at the very end, Spider-Man swings past and an Xbox logo drops there or something. I think the only way they pull that off without Sony's backing and still kind of convincing people that may or not be in the mainstream, you use Crash Bandicoot, you use Doom, you use Warcraft. Now, what else is Activision?
No, I feel like you
need COD in there.
COD in there for sure. You got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Yeah. You know, you throw Spyro in some of the Activision stuff. Spyro's dead.
But Spyro's recognizable as not Xbox. That's what I'm saying. You need something that doesn't look like Xbox to be on this trailer. That's what I'm saying. You need a Crash. You need a Spyro. You need something.
Yeah, I think you go Helldivers. I think you go. I genuinely do think like they show like Xbox. Here's what you get. Gears, Halo, Sea of Thieves, Forza, and then they showcase here's what you get with Steam, Spider-Man 2, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West.
I don't think
you show like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7, like you gotta.
That's what they do.
You gotta show like the that kind of stuff.
Okay, so jokes aside, if you in this trailer, I don't think they should start Xbox heavy at all. I don't think at any point they should be Xbox heavy. I think they should be put Crash Bandicoot, put Final Fantasy, you can put Gears in there, but it not be like Xbox here. Just Marcus running and shooting, and then Call of Duty or something. Basically, you need a stream of games that are not just one platform, and having Final Fantasy in there, Persona in there, Spyro or Crash is like your platforming stuff. All of it. Minecraft, I don't think Minecraft does it.
Yeah,
I don't think Minecraft does it.
Oh, it'd be good. They could showcase some roadblocks.
Roblox, not roadblocks.
Roadblocks, whatever.
But yeah, but Roblox has hit a few roadblocks.
Roadblocks.
We'll know in what, a week and a half, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week.
What? When's this week? We were like 4 days out.
Right, a week from now. You're right. Yeah, our show next week. We'll know.
Yes. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll know next week for sure. Which I'll still be here. I'll probably have fewer boxes in the background.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, my friend. I think that's gonna start wrapping us up here. I feel like we had a good run. I want to shout out. First of all, we had a great chat today. Nerd Chat, Sathius, Gentlestone, Nissa, Bacon was here. Clutch Kwando, of course, financially supporting us with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, my friend.
Very nice.
Let's see. I said Nissa is hanging out with us. Freight Conductor was in the house as well with a hilariously bad pun, which I enjoyed. I feel like I missed somebody, and I'm so sorry if I did. But thank you guys. Yeah. Logan, what do you got coming up? Your time is so limited right now.
Unfortunately, just because I'm working on the logistics of like moving and whatnot cross country. I'm putting a lot of my content on hold. This weekend I'm going to be recording 2 episodes of Keelhauled. One of them's going to be kind of a retrospective that'll air for the end of the month when I'm going to be traveling. But outside of that, it's just unfortunately, I like we talked about it at the top of the show. I've been really tired because I've been genuinely like staying up late and playing games to try and get that sense of like, oh yeah, I did game today. I did get to enjoy like some video games and whatnot, but it's been so light that it's like I just hop into World of Warcraft and I just run around and do some dailies because that's all my brain can really like process.
You need comfort food and a brain rot. That's important.
So that's honestly what that is. But as far as content goes, light for now. I'm hoping that when I get a chance to like get moved and get settled and stuff like that, then we can start looking at like what's coming in it's like September and October, start getting back to jumping into some of that content and seeing about like if there's games that people want to see reviews for that we're trying to get some of that content if it lines up with what we want to jump into.
Nice.
So yeah, moving does suck. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
I'm quickly learning how expensive it is.
Yeah.
So
you sent me look, I asked Logan for his schedule. I didn't need that much detail. He sent me like everything. I was like, I just need when you're available. I was like,
I gave him a little like date by date with a blue and red box at the end of it because I was like, this is all he really cares about. This is like
right. Yeah, like
he just wants to see like the day that I'm good or bad on.
Not in a mean way, but like I want to make sure I schedule for the gaps when you're not available. Have a third host maybe on the days that you get back because you might be struggling just to stay awake or whatnot. So yeah, that's what I was getting at. But it was intense. I will have a unique schedule, but I'm excited to adjust to grad school. Like I'm really excited about grad school. I love learning, which is I just do. I'm really fascinated to start that process. It's been very stressful. I'm not built to register for things. I'm built to consume knowledge. So it's been a really unique process for me. But the paying for it part was the nerving thing. But I'm working on that stuff too. I'm excited. I got a new school year ahead of me. I'm excited to take on some new roles. It's been fun. So
yeah. So where do you have like any kind of ETAs that you can talk about as far as like the Gears review or like the Wolverine review stuff that you're working on?
Yeah, thanks for getting me on track. I appreciate it. So the Gears embargo, I don't think I can share the embargo date. But as soon as the embargo lifts, I'll have a coverage video for you. The problem with that is just like, what are you reviewing when you review this? Are you reviewing the game that's been re-released multiple times, or the packaging, or the package, the visuals? So I'm not sure how I'm going to approach that one, but I've been putting some time into it since the coverage code arrived. For the Wolverine, I know I've talked ad nauseum about it. That will be when I can get to it this week, truly. And I don't want to promise that video content. And we've actually started turning down opportunities here and there for video making content just because you and I are busy, right? Steel Series sent a really cool headset that I'm trying out, their $100 version, base version. Really good for a $100 version. I just started using that as a daily driver for console play. For a daily driver, this thing's really good. It's the Arctis 3. I have it.
I saw that they sent you a couple of them.
They sent me 2 by accident. So I gave one to one of our longtime patrons, James Suddy.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Because I was like, dude, give me your impressions. I need to know. And I did reach out to Steel Series. They gave me permission to do so. Just to be clear, I didn't just just to be clear, I did reach out. I said, hey, I'll send you this back. And they said, no, keep it, give it to a community member or whatnot. This is the Arctis Nova 3X wireless. They sent me a blue one. I asked for
interesting.
Blue. Well, they gave me a color listing. And I was like, I have black, I have white, send me blue. It's a really good headset for its money. And like between the Wolverine from Razer, the Pro Edition, and then this one, it's like these are really good budget versions that are high quality. Has yet to die. As far as audio, like I haven't charged it yet. Has yet to the batteries have not died yet. And I love SteelSeries headsets, so this is a nice treat. So
very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening. We hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Please check out Logan on his socials and support Keelhauled. Thank you to anyone and everyone who has clicked the like button, shared, subscribed to us on YouTube, or found us over on Patreon. We greatly appreciate you. Have a fantastic rest of your week, everyone. Take care.
Bye.